Hi everyone. Hi Melissa.
Hi, Carmen.
Now I would like to introduce myself. My name is Carmen Beaumont. I'm the director of Vida Psychology, and this is one of a gorgeous child and adolescent psychologist, Melissa Bourchier. And I wanted to interview you, Melissa, because I know that quite a few of the parents we're having at the moment are struggling with a number of issues, and I just wanted for you to share with our community some of those struggles and some of the conversations that you're having with them in terms of suggestions and tips that I'm sure will help all those parents in the community at the moment. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Melissa Bourchier. I'm a child and adolescent psychologist, or a developmental psychologist by training. I've been working at Vida for 3 or 4 years now, I think, and have been in practice for over 10 years. Initially working with kids with disabilities all the way through to families in really high functioning positions, and I work with infants all the way through to my oldest client at 93 years old. Lately, I've been working at Vida and at home as well, working with a lot of families that are struggling with COVID at the moment. Yeah.
Yes. So what would be some of the struggles, would you say, Melissa, that some of our parents are having? So just to share with some of my parents in conversations that some of my parents are having, just like myself, is home learning.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she giggles. And all these, different, I guess, information that it's new to me anyway. I haven't been a student for so long. And I know that as a parent, it's putting a lot of pressure on children missing out on content and how to best support them. But that's also resulting in what we call at home mums gone Spanish. So having meltdowns at home. So please enlighten and help me, people like me, in that scenario.
Sure. Oh, your poor kids.
Oh, yes.
Look, I was talking to my best friend last night, and she's got 3 kids under 10, going from prep all the way through to year 5. And prep grade 4 and grade 5, so really different learning ages. One with some, who's kind of still trying to figure out how to write her name, and my friend is stressing about how are we going to teach letters? What letters are we at? I can't remember learning how to write. How am I going to teach that? And how am I going to help my 5-year-old segment bureaucracy when I don't know what a segment is? And those are all really relevant questions. What I will say is that
looking up things on YouTube on how,
yes.
chemistry stuff, and there's a lot of, by the way, fantastic and amazing Indian teachers, but trying to navigate their accent as well as understanding ideas and concepts, it's stressful.
Yes, it is so stressful. And it's stressful for the parents, and it's stressful for kids, and it's stressful for teachers. Everybody is stressed. And so I think really what we need to do is manage our expectations. This goes for high school kids as much as it goes for primary age kids and even kinder kids. We need to downgrade the stress. My biggest message, I think, overall throughout this whole period is that at the end of COVID and at the end of lockdown and isolation, I want for kids to be able to say that this was the greatest time of their lives. That, at their 21st birthday party, when their parents are putting up photos of their, terrible schoolwork that they did when they were locked down, that the kids can go, I know it was terrible, but I loved that my mum helped me and made learning fun. I love that my dad was sitting down with me and taking a bit of time. I also loved playing games. I think that at this point in time, this should be really not about managing every single bit of content that we can get kids, get into their brains, but how can we actually keep them engaged in learning? How can we keep them engaged with school? How can we make learning fun? And how can we help them stay engaged with the family? Those are my expectations. I think realistically, and when I've done some reading about what are the around the world expectations about kids and their development through this period, is not necessarily that we are expecting kids to progress with their academic content, but that they plateau. We don't want them to go backwards. So if at the end of this, what you can say is that you've got a kid who entered this period of remote learning with the same amount of knowledge that they've left it with, not that they have left it with less,
yes,
then you're doing incredibly well. And so, I've got parents who are saying to me that they're trying to upload all of this work onto Seesaw, and they log in and they can see there's 20 different tasks for the day, and they feel like they're failing their kids when they're only getting up 7 of them. You know what? Just do 7. If all you get through is 7, brilliant. If you get through 2, that's fine. If you, at the end of that day, feel like you managed to sit down with your kid, you had a great conversation, you kind of maybe built some of their language skills, you kept them engaged in the idea of learning, even if they couldn't sit still for more than 5 minutes, brilliant. Because in a classroom, there are days where that's all we achieve as well. Yeah. And in the office, there are days when that's all I achieve as well.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I think, that certainly helps me, and I know that it will be helpful for parents. I was talking to actually a teacher earlier today about those expectations that we often place on ourselves and how unrealistic and unhelpful they are.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And they're unrealistic for ourselves as much as they are for our kids. We're not teachers, and I know that a lot of parents are being told, you're not teachers, your job isn't to teach. And I've had parents saying to me, well, how can I even keep them engaged? How can I get them to sit still? Why won't my kid listen to me? And I think that they're not listening because there's more interesting things. The TV is 3 feet to their left, and if I'm sitting at home or I'm working from home, it's really hard for me to stay at my desk and not go kick back in front of YouTube. And I'm an adult. Yeah. So I think, this is where we say, if I was walking in your shoes, I'd feel the same. And so maybe you break up the tasks of the day into 5 or 10 moments of some learning, and then you go to the TV, and then you come back again. Or maybe you do 5 or 10 minutes of learning, and then you do like some kind of fun learning, like pull out the Play-Doh, or teach weights and measurements through measuring flour to make cookies. There are other ways to learn besides completing a worksheet. And if you want to upload a picture of your cookies and scribbles all over the recipe to Seesaw, your teacher's going to be fine with that as well. When it comes to your adolescents, there's a little bit more expectation of their self-guided learning. But again, we're hoping, and this is a little different for those VCE students where my heart really goes out to them, reach out for help, contact tutors. There's a lot of Zoom tutoring going on where parents are feeling out of their depth. Get in contact with someone where that is their job. Access the teachers, hound them with emails. They'll probably hate me for saying that. I'm sorry, teachers. But, they are available. They're at the schools, or they're at their desks, and they really want to be of use to your students. Send them your questions. Do not expect things of yourself that are unfair. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah. And I think that that's a big point, being kind to ourselves. Especially now, so that's huge. Yeah. And
it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah, the conversation that I was having with the teacher, actually, she did say to reach out to them. So that's, I'm sure that teachers won't hate you for doing that. So you're off the hook, Melissa. Anything else that you think some of the parents that you support go to you or have come to you for that you think would be helpful for those in the community?
Yeah, I think some of the questions that I've had asked are things like, how can I keep my kids social in this period of time? Like
Yes.
they're sick of Zoom.
Yes.
I've had questions about how can I keep myself sane? What do I do when myself and my partner are trying to do work and, you know, there's a toddler walking in through the door? And the first thing I'll say is that this is really normal at the moment.
Yes.
I think that there are most managers in most settings that are going to be absolutely okay with you having a meeting with a nudie Rudy 2-year-old running around behind you. This is a period where I've never met a society that is more compassionate, which is really nice. I will say things like, when it comes to having kids who are really, really social and are sick of Zooming, it's because kids don't normally talk. They communicate through play. And so when they're trying to just have a conversation with their friend, that's not mimicking how they would typically interact. So I know, Carmen, that you put up a video the other day talking about getting out into the driveway and playing some board games, or, you know, going for a walk together. I would say that if you really feel like you need to be in the house and like Zoom or Skype are one of your only options, engage in play through the screen. Put on a puppet show for your friend. So you create a story and then you watch theirs and you can ask questions. I would say, can you guys come up with a pop quiz for each other or an interview for each other? Can you find a way to be creative through the screen? I have had a gorgeous little client who's been playing with her puppets and her dolls in front of her screen with her friend, and they're making up stories. So, you know, their toys are going off to the park, and then the friend will say, oh, I think I'm going to go on a swing, and they'll, you know, create a swing together. So it's this creative play that they would normally be doing together, maybe without the running around, but in front of a screen, because just chatting is not the same. Yeah. And that's the same for parents. I know it's a hard slog, but if you can get down on the ground with your kids for a couple of minutes every day, and spend some time just playing with them, that's going to be even better in some cases than school. So pull out Monopoly, because playing Monopoly is about maths. It's about social interaction. It's about language. It's about following rules. It's about sitting still for periods of time. All of these are school skills. And what you're doing is you're creating family time, memories around something that's going to teach them things, but is maybe not set out as being a task. Send a picture of it to Seesaw, upload it, email it to the maths teacher, tell them, share the pride. I think that part of what I've heard from some friends is that they're feeling like the work that they're doing, or clients, I should say, as well as friends, is that the work that they're doing with their kids doesn't feel meaningful. Like, you know, maybe their teachers aren't ticking off on all 20 of those worksheets, or, you know, the kids aren't getting that feedback of reading a piece of work out to the class. I've got my nieces and nephew lined up this Sunday to give me a bit of a spiel about something that they've learnt this week. I've had clients have to give presentations to their grandparents about Japanese class this week. Or, you know, how to pretend have a phone call in Japanese to their grandparents, even if their grandparents can't understand it. Or can they show a spelling test, a look, cover, write, check to their grandparents or an aunt or an uncle or to the parent that wasn't home with them that day. And, you know, they can do it through Zoom. They can do it face to face. There's so many different options. You know, do the homework in groups with friends. So I've got a little 9-year-old client who's been doing her spelling and her writing and her story writing with her friend through FaceTime, which is nice because then she's getting that social interaction as much as she's getting the work. This is how we can make it meaningful, as we make it social. And that's ticking a few of those boxes, which is really good for mental health generally.
Yeah. And as you said, also being creative. And this is a time when, you know, when I think we've been thrown in the deep end and forced to be creative and think outside of the box. So, yeah.
I mean, we're in house-sized boxes at the moment, so even thinking inside the box is actually, you've got a lot of resources available to you.
Great. Okay, well, thank you, Melissa. That was Fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing those amazing tips, and hopefully parents will remember to be kind to themselves, not only their children but also themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and make this memorable for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I've put together a couple of blog pieces on the Vida website where I've put together some strategies for managing homeschooling, talking about taking breaks, our expectations regarding children's attention span. An adult attention span is 30 minutes. So a child's attention span is absolutely going to be much shorter. So, you know, how can we reinforce things? Can we create a token economy where we maybe give them a stamp and they can earn iPad minutes or TV time or run around time? What can we do to help with home learning or remote learning? But also talking about, you know, how can we manage our own COVID anxiety and the uncertainty that comes with this period of time? And that's really about kindness and making memories rather than really putting this onus on ourselves to be teaching our kids long division. There's no way that my kids will ever have a chance of learning long division from me. But they can bake cookies, and, you know, we can play Lego and we can count the dots on Legos. That's what's going to be engaging, and that's what's kind, and that's what's fun, and that's what's family time, and that's applied learning. So think about the fun stuff and the kind stuff rather than high, unreachable expectations that aren't kind to you or your kids. And thank you, teachers. You know, the teachers are there, they're ready and available. They want to talk, they want to answer questions. They don't want you guys to feel like you're left alone. And that goes all the way through from kinder through to high school. If you've got a high school student who's not able to keep up with their work, the parents can reach out to teachers in their place. This is a time to think about community as much as it is about household as well. Yeah. We're all in this together.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks, Carmen.
Bye.